Okay, I'm gonna be trying to do this one more time because my internet is acting up for some reason. This is going to be week 5 for B55F, Chef Mara's class, Introduction to Baking. Um, this is going to go over what I think are the correct answers for the costing sheet, but do not quote me on anything. I'm still waiting for Chef to get back to me on that. Okay, so I'm going to separate this into 3 separate parts: pie dough, egg wash, and apple pie. And for the pie dough, we're going to try to find the necessary amount for the apple pie recipe from the original amount. I know it sounds kind of confusing, but here we have the original recipe. The original recipe, for some reason it's not showing. Anyways, the original recipe makes 6 pounds of the dough. Here we have the ingredients, the amount of ingredients, measured in the smallest amount, which is grams and ounces for my example, and price per ounce. Let me fix this. Price per ounce, and extension, and total cost. As we can see, we have all-purpose flour, salt, butter, cold water, 3 pounds, 1 ounce, 2 pounds, 1 pound. We have the ounces on one side, grams on the other, price per ounce. You can find all of these on the list. I did change this one. I grabbed all of this from my last assignment. I did change this one to be accurate because water is 1 penny. So extensions are going to be ounce multiplied by price per ounce. So it would be 40 ounces times 0.02 is equal to 96 cents. 1 ounce times 5 cents equals 5 cents. And so on and so forth. Extension. And now for the total cost. Total cost is going to be all of the extensions added up. So we can see home, auto, sum. So what this is saying is adding all of these together. So adding column E number 3 to column E number 6, we get $8.21, which is the exact same as I got here, $8.21. What I have over here is the wanted measurement for the apple pie. So the apple pie calls for 1 pound and 4 ounces of the 321 pie dough, which is 570 grams. And over here, I have conversion rates into batches. So I did ounces first, so 6 pounds is equal to 96 ounces. And 1 pound 4 ounces is equal to 20 ounces. Now because Chef Mara's conversion is wanted over original, so I did wanted over the original measurements, wanted measurement over original measurement, which is 20 ounces over 96 ounces, or 20 ounces divided by 96 is equal to 0.21 of a batch. Is equal to 0.2083 of a batch, which rounded down is equal to 0.21 batches. You can also do this by grams. So 570 grams is the wanted amount of grams for the pie dough. 2,720 grams is the original amount of grams of pie dough. Dividing these two, 570 divided by 2,720, gives you 0.2083 0.20955 of a batch or 0.21 of a batch. We're going with 0.21 to make our life easier. So here we have the ingredients. So in the wanted, we have all the same ingredients: AP, salt, butter, cold water. But here I have the grams multiplied by the batch. So I have AP is 1,360 multiplied by 0.21, 30 grams for salt multiplied by 0.21, so on and so forth. And we get these gram conversions. What I did was have all of these grams after I converted them, and then convert them again into ounces. So 285.6 grams is equal to 10.07424 grams, and so on and so forth. 6.3 grams is equal to 0.22222. You get the point. And then I went ahead and rounded it down into something that I can work with, 3 digits at most. So 10.0742 turns into 10.1, 0.2222 turns into 0.22, 6.7 turns into 7, and 3.33 turns into 3.33. Then we round these down into whole numbers because we don't want to deal with decimals when we're talking about weight. We turn 10.1 into 10, 0.22 into 1, 7 into 7, and 3.33 into 3. Then we add on the prices. It's the exact same prices as the original. It's just now we're going to go ahead and multiply the same prices by the new wanted amounts. So we have 0.02 multiplied by 10 gives you 0.20 cents. 1 times 0.05 gives you 5 cents. 7 times 0.22 gives you $1.54. 3 times 0.01 gives you 3 cents. And again, in order to get the total cost of the now new wanted amount of dough, you add all of these together. It gives you $1.82, and we have $1.82 for the total cost. $1.82 is what you need to remember, so place that aside somewhere that you know you can use later on in order for the apple pie recipe. Moving on to the egg wash. Inside the notes that I have for Chef Mara, an egg wash, how she likes to make it is 1 egg to 2 tablespoons of water. So 1 egg is equal to 0.79 cents. So 0.79 cents per egg. And then we have for water, 2 tablespoons is equal to 0.5 ounces. Yeah, there we go. 2 tablespoons is equal to 0.5 ounces. Now this is not a pretty number, but we're going to have to deal with it. So water costs a penny. Eggs cost 0.79 cents per egg. I did a little math and had it costs 0.40 cents per ounce of an egg, and eggs usually are 2 ounces according to my inventory sheet. Moving along. So what I did over here was multiply 0.5 times 0.01 in order to get 0.005. And then of course 0.79, because we're only using one egg, that transfers over. Now we have the individual, this would be our extension. So with our extension, what do we need? We need a total cost. How do we find the total cost? Adding together the amounts of the ingredients, the total amounts of the ingredients. So 0.005 plus 0.79 is equal to 0.795, which is what we got right there. But how much money can you have? When you're counting money, you can only do 2 digits past the decimal point. So your amount can be 0.00, but it cannot be 0.000. That does not equal anything. Alrighty, now that we understand each other, we have to round this down or round it up. Remember, 5 or more up the score, 4 or less let it rest. If we are looking at the number 5, in order to make this a 3-digit number, is 5 more than 5 or less than 4? It's more than 5, or it's 5 or more, either way. So what we're going to do is change that 9 into a 10, and it would be 7 plus 1 is equal to 8, so 8 plus 0. Eventually you get 80 cents. 80 cents is what it takes to make the egg wash. An egg wash which contains 1 egg and 2 tablespoons of water. You need to keep this to the side as well to make sure that you have all of the things that you need to go ahead and do the rest of the pricing sheet. We're moving on to the last one, where now we're actually doing the pricing sheet or the costing sheet for the apple pie. So we have the 321 pie dough. You don't need to go ahead and think of this anymore because we already have the total. We have the egg wash. You don't need to think of this anymore because we already have the total. We already did everything. Now we need to focus on the sugar, tapioca starch, cornstarch or AP flour, salt, ground meg, ground cinnamon, lemon juice, butter, apples, and that's it. Now over here I have the ounces. So 5 ounces, 0.5 ounces, 1 ounce, so on and so forth, as well as the teaspoons. So these are all part of the original recipe. I just did the US metric. Over here, as you can see, I don't really have other grams or other ounces except mostly this one, which is 24 ounces because we had to do 16 ounces plus 8 ounces is equal to 24. Over here we can see it's kind of sectioned off. This is because these are not pretty numbers. None of these numbers, tablespoons, or I should say teaspoons, none of these teaspoons are able to add up to some sort of ounce, a clear ounce value. So I converted them into grams, and then I converted them into ounces, and we are going to be using ounces because I didn't do all that work for nothing. Just kidding, just kidding. Okay, so we're going to be moving on. Over here, we did the pricings. So for an ounce of sugar, we got 0.06 cents. For an ounce of tapioca starch, I did some research. I got it off of Amazon. You see that link over there. In the end, I got 0.31 cents per ounce. Cornstarch is 10 cents. AP flour is 2 cents. Salt is 5 cents. Nutmeg is 66. Ground cinnamon is 31. Lemon juice is 20. Butter is 22. Apples are 8 cents. And now we have our new not new, our inventory cost sheet amounts per ounce. Now what we do again is what we did in the original. You see how over here all of a sudden we had a new number? This is the amount that we got for the apple, for the 321 dough. So for 1 pound and 4 ounces, or 570 grams, it costs $1.82 to make the 321 pie dough for this specific recipe. For sugar, again, 0.06 cents multiplied by the amount of ounces is going to equal to your extension. Let me write this down. These are all extensions. And these are all price per ounce. Alrighty, now you can see it better. So for the extension, we got overall $1.82 for the apple pie, or for the apple pie dough. For the sugar, we got 30 cents. Tapioca starch, we got 0.155. And then so on and so forth. You can see that a lot of these aren't pretty numbers, like the tapioca starch. Columns 8 through 11. So what we're going to do again is to go ahead and round down or round up. So leave this alone, leave this alone. 0.155 turns into 0.16. Leave this alone. And this section right here is going to be tricky. So section 8 through section 11, we are going to put all of these numbers, all of these digits, and convert them to 1 penny. The only reason is that we can't really do much of anything besides convert it to 1 penny. So 0.006. To make this into 3 digits, or 2 digits past the decimal point, what we're going to do is up the score. So turn 0.00 into 0.01 because 6 is more than 5. And then over here, 0.013, we can't do anything with the 3 or the 2 because they're both less than 4, so it turns into 0.01. Again, 2 and 4 are less than 4, so 0.01, and 0.008. 8 is more than 5, so you up the score of the one ahead of it, so this one turns into 0.01. Now, of course, now we have the actual extensions. This is the extension that you would want to put on the costing sheet. Now over here, I was in the middle of doing this before my internet went down. 0.10. Let's go with 0.02. 0.01. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0.22. 0.22. 1.92. And 0.8. Alrighty. So for total cost 1, we're going to add up all the extensions with the cornstarch. Ooh, hold on. Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V. Extensions 1, extensions 2. Alrighty, total cost 2 is going to be with the AP flower. Alrighty, now we have two costs that are practically the same thing except just like a couple cents off. So total cost 1 is this section, and what we did was to use the cornstarch in this one. Total cost 2, we used the AP flour, as can be seen here, 10 cents and 0.02 cents. Total cost 1 gives you $5.36 to make 1 apple pie. And total cost 2 gives you $5.28 to make 1 apple pie. And there you go, that's how I did the conversions.